Hello everyone. I watched a response video that was about me this morning. I'm not normally the subject of response videos myself, or at least not that I'm aware of, and I wasn't going to bother with the guy that made it. That's also been buzzing around my channel like a fly for the past week or so, saying dumb shit. But I became a little more inspired when another viewer left a comment regarding the response video and in support of the guy that made it. You might be looking at my reply and thinking, Gary, what's with the number 9? Well, I've realised that my Orsum's scale of dumbness is actually a labour-saving device. I don't have to type a whole response. I can just reference the appropriate number from the dumbness scale. Anyway, quickly reading the comment in question, Gary, all you have used are reification fallacies and formological fallacies. Go to Nathan Oakley's channel and watch your pathetic arguments ripped to shreds. Once again, another ball earther with no proof of anything except your own unproven false ball earth fallacies backed up by nothing. What a shame you have made a complete tit of yourself. Doing my best to set aside your sub-primary school level punctuation, I guess I better go and watch myself get demolished. Nice graphics, dude. I like it.
Hello, everyone. This is Gary Orsum, and Gary has a particular brand of taking apart feminists. He also seems to have a penchant for taking apart flat earthers using fallacious reasoning.
Well, actually, I take apart feminists and flat earthers with the same reasoning, coming from the same person. You just take issue with my reasoning regarding flat earthers because you're not a feminist, you're a flat earther. I'm guessing you don't have a problem with my reasoning in regard to feminism, or whenever it's not making your cult look bad.
Now, I've left several comments for Gary.
Well, not so much comments, more like condensed novels that keep repeating the same thing, that are a bit suggestive of some obsessive stalking psychopathy. But hey dude, different strokes.
And while he may think he has a handle on where he lives, it seems that when debunking flat earth, he goes after the low-hanging fruit.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, mate.
And in this instance, he's gone after Orphan Red in a video called The Earth is Red. Now, the reason I've picked this particular section, which is approximately 3 seconds long.
So pretty in-depth then, yeah?
To actually make this video about is because it is the single best, or worst, depending on how you want to look at it, use of logical fallacy that I have seen in this arena to date.
Thanks, mate. I feel kind of special now. I've never been the best at anything before.
So I thought I'd play this clip out for you so you can get a general idea of exactly what Gary or...
Can I make my first comment there?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, does he think that that was a compliment?
That's what I said. So I said best or worst, depending on how you want to look at it. Well, clearly Gary wants to look at it as using 3 fallacies in the space of 3 seconds is wonderful, according to him. There we go.
I wonder if he really knows what it is.
I think that he thinks that it was a compliment. Oh, should we set up a GoFundMe for Gary?
No, let's not.
Right, carry on the video. Carry on.
Carry on.
Does in this single sentence, because he gets the full-on hat trick of logical fallacy. So let's hear the clip. Over to you, Gary. Let's hear exactly how good or bad this actually gets.
No flat earther has proven in any way that the Earth isn't a globe.
So let's pick this fallacious garbage to pieces, starting with the very first section of his first statement in my little clip.
What, that's it, is it? That's my logical fallacy? How the fuck is that even a logical fallacy? It's not even a path of reasoning. It's a single statement, and actually a statement of fact, if you want to get precise about it.
No.
So he thinks that no flat earther ever disproving that the Earth is a globe is a statement of fact. Well, while that might be the case, it's still fallacious in its reasoning. So disproving non-existence. Why am I even saying this? This is precisely what I said in the video, right? Jesus.
That's what I mean. He just didn't get it.
For the full explanation I gave in the video. Okay, fair enough.
No flat earther. Now, the assertion, the claim, is that we live on a globe.
That's not what I heard. What I heard was my claim that no flat earther has proved in any way that the Earth isn't a globe.
Wow. So he is just like every globehead ever and literally circle jerks us around his exact same logical fallacy again. Unbelievable. And he also thinks that as far as he's heard that we've got the claim. Oh, really? Oh, it's just 95% of the Western world that is taught this garbage in school. It's just globes on the sides of every single bus that you see, on every single poster that you see, played at the beginning of every movie that you see. And he thinks it's our claim. No, Gary, the claim is definitely that we live on a spinning sphere. That is the accepted rhetoric. It is the claim.
Shout out to the burden of proof reversal fallacy.
Shout out
But
for
let
track.
me hear it again to
Can't retract ones that are valid.
make sure I wasn't mistaken. No flat earther has proven in any way that the Earth isn't a globe. And sorry, what was it again that you claim I said?
Now, the assertion, the claim, is that we live on a globe.
Well, seeing as how the basis of your video is that I've made the greatest logical fallacy you've ever encountered, which I suspect isn't actually true either, yet you can't even accurately represent the claim I actually made, I'd imagine you're sitting there watching this right now and thinking, oh, fuck, he's right. I completely fucked that up. It's at this
No.
No, definitely not,
no.
Gary. You just haven't quite realized that it is indeed a logical fallacy, because it is indeed your claim that we live on a sphere. If you don't realize that you're actually making that claim, then you're clearly really, really stupid.
point, I'll just call checkmate and be done with it. But for
So I'll just declare victory because I haven't actually recognized that I'm making a claim that we live on a sphere. Therefore, my stupidity means I win. Well done, Gary. That's exceptionally good logic. Not recognizing your own fallacy means you've technically won. Checkmate, you say. No, Gary, you are making a claim. You're claiming we live on a sphere.
One of the
for those
one
that
of the, one of the most used, hang on. One of the most overused expressions in flat Earth is obviously the Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's just remind ourselves what it is. It's where you think that you are significantly better with your prowess than what you actually are. This guy's doing that. He thinks that he's not making these errors, and he's pretending as though he's not making them, and passing himself off as though he's not making them, and projecting his nonsense back onto you with regurgitating his position. But he's the one that's fallaciously wrong. He's logically and fallaciously wrong. And I'm wondering if this is the best example of Dunning-Kruger that we've seen. Yeah, everyone uses it flippantly, and it's like debunked is like another one of the words that's flippantly used, and it shouldn't be. But this guy doesn't realize how stupid he's looking right now, but thinks he's intelligent. He's a bit like Fight the Flat Earth.
I want to explain burden of proof, argument from ignorance, and reification fallacy, all of which he attributes to me. Yet, as we've just seen, the only one who's arrived at a logical fallacy is Nathan. I'll put the link to his video in the description below. But I'm suspecting that now that it's been pointed out what a blundering fundamental error he's made, he'll probably take it down. Or at least that's what someone who didn't want their fun.
What exactly? He didn't actually get into the material, and he didn't point it out. He's completely bypassing his entire point.
What error has he made?
This guy's a mental gymnastics master.
Nah, what was the error that Nathan made according to him? I've not heard him present.
I don't know. He didn't say.
Yeah, I've not heard him say what error he thinks Nathan's made.
No, he's making the point that because he doesn't think he's making a claim, there is no logical fallacy. His claim being no flat earther has ever disproved that we live on a sphere. Well, that we live on a sphere is your fucking claim, you moron.
It's amazing.
Fundamental error of epic proportions, memorialized for all time would do. But hey, Nathan is a flat earther, so it's not like embarrassing himself isn't commonplace. So who knows? I should probably seize this opportunity to celebrate the support Nathan got on his channel from his own viewers. Some of them even wanted to come over to my channel and say hello. However, none of them seemed to notice Nathan's inability to correctly represent what I'd actually said. So I guess my viewers and I can draw out.
Sorry, correctly represent what you said. I played what you said. How can I misrepresent it when I played it?
You didn't comment on it the right way, Nathan.
Conclusions about their powers of observation. Or maybe they're just really into ignoring the truth, no matter how hard it's staring them in the face.
So would that be the truth that we live on a sphere? The claim you claim you're not making? That truth, by any chance? Your claim? That's the truth we're ignoring, is it? Oh, the truth that you just accept, the one we're challenging, that you haven't defended, but you're telling us we should accept as true. Maybe that would be your claim that I've picked apart. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe I've just got a massive error and I've just picked on a sentence that I played that doesn't have any logical errors in it. And I haven't taken specific reference, like with every comment I made, where I, yes, did go through in quite detail, a lot of detail. Generally, if it was a feminist video, I'd put something like ace. When it's a flat earth video, obviously, I'm going to pick it apart in great detail and cite specific references with timestamps. So yeah, I'm going to go to a great deal of effort when I'm picking apart your crap. Clearly didn't actually read it, just call it stalky and psychopathic. No, detailed, ripping apart your nonsense based on specific references and timestamps to make it easy for you to double check what I'm claiming. As opposed to just saying you're not making a claim in this instance, which you absolutely are. You claim we live on a globe.
Oh, sorry, did I just stumble upon the defining characteristic of a flat earther? I think I did. As for Dean Wrong telling me to go and see my arguments get ripped to shreds, you do know that arguments is a plural, right? He addressed one thing and couldn't even get the basis of the claim he was supposedly refuting right.
That's incorrect. In one statement, you made 3 logical fallacies. That's why I picked it. Again, earlier on, he said something like, well, that's thorough. No, to make my point, I only needed 3 seconds of your video to point out just how crap your logic is in this regard. So no, it's not that I'm not thorough. It's not that it's not plural. It's not that you only made 1 mistake. It's that you made 3 in 1 sentence, which is quite a record that you're actually proud of. Amazing.
And it's not really that I made a tit of myself. It's that you two made yourselves look like a pair of tits. Just before I go, I mentioned before that Nathan...
Is that it? Is that his address?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't actually understand what you wrote there. It's big, so he's just, oh my god, so big, he must be a psychopath, so he doesn't have to read it. And he probably doesn't know anyone that'll actually help him translate what you wrote there, so he's just completely oblivious as to what is actually going on and just bluffing his way through it. I think he really is. I think he really doesn't get it.
No, clearly doesn't get it.
I think what we need to do is ask this Gary Orsum, can he tell us what is the current science for gravity? Because I don't think he has a clue. It'd be interesting to see what he comes back with. So, Gary, if you're watching, and if you're not, let's everybody go over and tell him that he's had a response on Ranty's channel. Tell us, Gary, in your own words, what is the current science for gravity? I'd love to hear it.
There might be a little more, Nathan, for all I know. I think there was a little bit, not too much though.
Had been leaving lengthy comments and repeating himself over and over. I think nearly all of his comments contained this same assertion. You have not been to the second law of thermodynamics violation known as outer space. As stated on my last comment, you cannot have gas pressure without a container. Outer space is fake. Outer space is fake. Space is fake.
Hurts, doesn't it?
You know, if you wanted to destroy my supposed logical fallacy, which by your own...
Ooh, so let me get it straight. What he's done is produced pictures taken from the second law of thermodynamics violation that he's never visited. So he trusts his priests because he didn't take any of those pictures. Let's have a quick look at those pictures that he produced. What did he put up? Let's pull them apart one by one.
All of his comments contained this same assertion. You have, as stated on my last comment...
Okie dokie. So we've got pictures of the lights in the sky. So, Gary, just out of interest, did you take this picture? And if you did you take it from the vacuum of space? Just wondering. So there's a few that I'd like an answer on. did you take this picture and did you take it from the second law of thermodynamics violation, known as outer space? That's the first one. What about that one? Did you take this picture of a second law of thermodynamics violation, known as outer space? Or was it the priest in the picture who told you he was in outer space? Because he can't possibly be in outer space, Gary. The reason being, this bit here, this is supposed to be a vacuum, 10 to the minus 17 torr. All of this black bit, that's supposed to be negative pressure. Negative by comparison to this, 10 to the minus 17 torr, if you want to get specific about the actual numbers. What that means is this cloud here, that's positive pressure, high energy particles. And what they want to do is they want to expand in all directions. Now, the problem being that there's nothing stopping that cloud from expanding into the lower pressure system. And in fact, the second law of thermodynamics would dictate that the gas would fill this space. Now, you've not confirmed that this dude here is actually in a second law of thermodynamics violation, looking down on high energy gas pressure, not filling the space, magically staying velcroed to a spinning ball flying through a vacuum. Now, that's simply not possible, as stated multiple times, because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. Now, I'm going to bet one worthless Australian dollar that you cannot prove you can have gas pressure maintained in a vacuum without it dispersing and filling the space. The priests, this wizard, has told you with photos he can defy the second law of thermodynamics, and he is traveling to heaven, this place he's giving you a picture from. You've not taken the picture, Gary. You just trust this wizard. You're never going to go to space. We're never going to go to space. You can't go to space because it's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Now, it might be tedious listening to me repeat the same thing over and over again, but I have to do that with retards who don't understand what the second law of thermodynamics is. Because if they did, they wouldn't put a picture of a violation of it up, claiming that that disproves that this gas, which is total bollocks, wouldn't fill a vacuum. Because, Gary, if you had the vaguest clue about the second law of thermodynamics, you would have appreciated that this picture makes my point beautifully. Because if you can answer this, Gary, I'll give it you that this is checkmate. How is it, Gary, that the gas here isn't expanding in all directions into this vacuum, given that there's no barrier stopping the gas? The matter, your wizard, he can escape. He's matter, not a high energy charged particle trying to expand in all directions. This is very solid matter, and he can definitely escape, can't he, according to you and your second law of thermodynamics violation photograph, in quotes. So if this dude can escape into the vacuum of space, Gary, why the fuck doesn't the gas escape? Why is it still magically stuck to the ball you think you live on and have never seen from this vantage point? Only the wizards have seen it, haven't they, Gary? But you think you've taken this picture? You think this is yours? Or is it from your priest? Someone who told you they can violate the second law. Look, there he is violating it, right? Out in a vacuum. But the gas isn't. That just stays where it is. Isn't that magic? No, it's not magic. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Hence, this picture is fake. If you can't see that, and you don't realize it having it explained by me about 10 times, that makes you one of the retards at number 9 on your list or number 10 on your list, a useful idiot that's decided to parrot what this priest has told you, Gary. So are you a useful idiot? Because there's no fucking way you've taken this picture, have you, moron? You're just a useful idiot punting this dude's narrative, this dude's pictures. So, Gary, I think I'll give your rating a number 9. 9 for useful idiot. because have you taken this fucking picture? No. You think this picture's real because you're a useful idiot telling us what your priests tell you because you've got no discernment. You think this is possible. Gas not escaping, not filling a vacuum. Tell me, Gary, how can you have gas pressure for, say, a tyre? A very, very small differential. 30 psi versus 15 psi. Not a massive differential, like 14 versus 10 to the minus 17 torr. Yeah. So if you can show me a small difference in pressure, not a massive difference, but a small difference at atmospheric pressure of, say, a tyre without the fucking tyre maintaining gas pressure. Because I'm pretty sure if you press your valve, the gas will fill the space. You'll get rapid decompression of the tyre and they'll equalize. The tyre won't maintain its pressure. It will release it into the area available to it. Now, that's a tiny difference. Teeny tiny. This difference here, Gary, you complete fuckwit, is enormous. But you think this proves your point? You fucking idiot. Any respect I had for you and your shitty, crap, garbage feminist videos has been destroyed by this total and utter fuckwittery where you're showing my point. A second law of thermodynamics violation given to you by a priest that you've decided to punt as a useful idiot. That's all.
Sorry. oh, right. That was yeah.
Nathan, how many breaths did you take in that? It sounded like you only took 2.
Probably less than I needed.
Well, all I'll say is that he's not here to defend himself, so you can't lose your temper with someone that's not even here. Unless it's rumpus.
Not losing my temper with Gary. I said this on my show earlier, so for less dramatics. Earlier on my show, I said, look, I've not got a problem with Gary. I see him as a normie. So in all honesty, Gary, I don't see this as your issue. You've been brainwashed in all sincerity into believing a second law of thermodynamics violation. So it's not my beef with you. My beef is with your priest. And I'll say it in a bit more sincerity to bolster my point, which is to say you are inadvertently a useful idiot. You don't know it, and that's unfortunate because it's now slightly embarrassing for me to have to point out that you've not taken this picture. You're a useful idiot. You're just punting this guy's words like you claimed that guy in the comments was doing. Well, that's what you are. You're a useful idiot for this guy. Now, you don't have to appreciate that, and it's sad that you don't appreciate that.